Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to my channel. Today our topic is pressure measuring instruments. It's a part 2. Part 1 we have discussed before. Let's start. Pressure types. Pressure is divided into 5 types: atmospheric pressure, gauge pressure, absolute pressure, vacuum pressure, and differential pressure. Atmospheric pressure. Atmospheric pressure is defined as a force in an area pushed against mass of our atmosphere. The standard value of atmospheric pressure is 101.325 Pascal, which is equal to 0 mm of mercury or 14.7 psi. It is denoted by PATM. Gauge pressure. Gauge pressure is relative to atmospheric pressure. Gauge pressure is higher than atmospheric pressure. Gauge pressure is positive above atmospheric pressure and negative below atmospheric pressure. It is denoted by PG. Absolute pressure. Absolute pressure is a pressure inside an air-free space. Absolute pressure is gauge pressure plus atmospheric pressure. Absolute pressure uses absolute zero or perfect vacuum as its reference point. Absolute pressure is denoted by PABS. Vacuum pressure. Vacuum pressure is a pressure of a tightly sealed space less than outside atmospheric pressure. It is denoted by P vacuum. P vacuum is equal to atmospheric pressure minus applied pressure or suction pressure. P is equal to applied pressure or suction pressure. PA is equal to atmospheric pressure. It is a chart of atmospheric pressure, absolute pressure, gauge pressure. Differential pressure. Differential pressure is the pressure difference of two applied pressures. It is denoted by delta P. Delta P is equal to P1 minus P2. Here is a diagram of differential pressure. Now we discuss what is transducer. A transducer is a device which converts one form of energy into another form. Pressure transducers are used to measure pressure. Pressure transducers are divided into two categories: mechanical type pressure transducer, electrical type pressure transducer. Now we discuss electrical type pressure transducer because in another video before we have discussed mechanical type pressure transducer. Electrical type pressure transducer. It is a transducer which transforms physical pressure into an analog electrical signal. Normally, it consists of two parts. First, which deform on applying pressure, and second, which sense deformation and convert it to an electrical signal. It is also called a pressure transmitter. This is a diagram of a electrical type pressure transducer. Types of electrical type pressure transducer. Number 1, strain gauge. Number 2, piezoresistive. Number 3, capacitance. Number 4, differential pressure. And number 5, inductive. Strain gauge. Strain gauge is a type of electrical type transducer which is used to measure strain or pressure. A strain gauge is a sensor which responds to the expansion or contraction of a material. When a pressure is applied, then resistance changes, and thus this change will give a different electrical output. A Wheatstone bridge circuit is an example where multiple strain gauges are used. It is a diagram of a strain gauge. Piezoresistive type pressure transducer. These are the pressure transducer which describes the change in electrical resistance that occurs when change in pressure occurs. In piezoresistive type transducer, sensor is formed on a silicon substrate which bends when pressure applied on it. Due to this deformation, resistance changes and in result electrical output. A common example is in medical field used for blood pressure measurement. It is a diagram of a piezoresistive type pressure transducer. Capacitance type pressure transducer. Capacitance type pressure transducer are the transducers that work on the principle of variable capacitance. It converts applied pressure into current signal. It consists of a capacitance plate diaphragm and another capacitance plate electrode fixed to an unpressurized surface with some gap between them. Change in pressure widen or narrow the gap, which cause change in capacitance and in result change in output signal. Here there is a diagram of a capacitance type pressure transducer. Differential pressure type pressure transducer. Differential pressure type pressure transducer work on the method of difference between two applied pressure. It also consists of two diaphragms from which both are connected to process or one side is connected to process. One side is high pressure side while other is low pressure side. When both pressures are applied, then one diaphragm moves towards other and change in pressure is measured and converted to electrical signal accordingly. There is a differential pressure type pressure transducer diagram. Inductive type pressure transducer. An inductive type pressure transducer is an electromechanical transducer which converts physical motion into modifying within inductance. It works on the principle of electromagnetic induction. When change in pressure occurs, then change in inductance occurs. Pressure acting on a movable magnetic core causes an increase in coil inductance corresponding to acting pressure. Change in induction can be measured as electrical signal. LVDT is an example of inductive type pressure transducer. There is a diagram of inductive type pressure transducer. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel.